And we're back with another video. This video here is going to be all about our expressions, writing expressions, both numerically and variable. Also add in the model representation with the shapes and tallies, and I'll do that on a separate piece of paper here afterwards. Um, Best way to show this is I'm just simply just going to show you. So this was our exit ticket from the other day. And we always start off with just a number. I can choose a random number. Remember, always smaller number is better just because the arithmetic is a little bit easier. So I'm going to choose the number 3. I like the number 3. Okay. With this number 3, I can have a variable expression. This variable expression obviously represents any possible number. And just like in class, I like the variable n because n stands for number. Now with this one here, the 3, that is the expression, I have a number, the value of this is 3. At the moment, the value of n is 3, so n equals 3. Okay, so if I build up my expression, building my expression, I have 3, and what am I going to do to it next? I'm going to add 5 to it. So I have 3 plus 5. Now 3 plus 5, what's the value of these two steps? The value is, of course, 8. 8 right there. Now, how about this variable expression? This variable expression, well, remember, I can choose any number at all. Now, once I have that number, what am I going to do to it? I'm going to add 5. So I can choose any number, and I'm going to add 5. And of course, this number represents 3, or 3 represents this variable. 3 plus 5 equals 8. Okay, next, I'm going to double the sum. Now, remember, I can't write in something like this, 3 plus 5 times 2. That doesn't work. That's no good. Because what I want to know is I want to take the sum of the 3 plus 5. So all of that, and then I'm going to double it. Now I put 2 in the front because this 2 in the number, technically it is the same as 3 plus 5 times 2. But like we talked in class, that's like bad grammar. That's like the verb going at the end of the sentence. I don't want the verb at the end. So I'm not going to take all that then times 2. I'm going to have 2 groups of 3 plus 5. So 2 groups of 8. All right, 2 groups of 8 is, of course, 16. To write this in the variable expression, I have 2 groups of, well, n plus 5. There we go. I just double my n plus 5. Continuing on, I have 2 groups of 3 plus 5, so 2 groups of 8. And then what I'm going to do, after I have this, I'm going to add in my and then I'm going to take away 4. Okay, and that looks the same thing over here. I have 2 groups of n plus 5, and then remember that plus or minus is like the and then I'm going to take away 4. So if I have 2 groups of 3 plus 5, 2 groups of 8, that's 16, and then I take away 4, I have a total of 12. Continuing on, we're almost done. At the last year, I'm going to divide by 2. So I have 2 groups of 3 plus 5, and then I'm going to take away 4. Now all of this, now it's not just one section, but all of this is now divided by 2. It's half. So I have half of all of that. I can make the variable expression as well. I have 2 groups of n plus 5 minus 4, and that whole thing is now split in half. If I work this out, I have 2 groups of 8. 2 groups of 8 is 16. Take away 4, I have 12, and then divided by 2, I'm going to have 6. Now finally, I'm going to have all of this, but I'm going to subtract my original number. My original number is, of course, 3. Now notice how I wrote the 3 large. The reason I wrote it large is because I want to make sure that I know that I have all of this, and then I take away 3. If you write it really small, if you write something like this, 3 plus 5 minus 4 over 2 minus 3, some people get confused and they think that this minus 3 is up here in the numerator, but it's not. We have to make sure that all of this is together after I finish all that, and then I take away 3. So I write my 3 very large just so I can see that separation, that and then becomes even more prominent. With the variable expression, I have it over here too. I have 2 groups of n plus 5 minus 4 over 2, and then I'm going to take away my original number. My original number is the number I started with, or I'm going to take away my variable, which is n. And of course, I'll write that large as well. If I do that, all of this is equal to 6, and I take away 3, so I'm going to end up with 3. And there you have it. That's how we can write our variable expressions. We can build it out by following the steps, both numerically and with the variable, as well as we can solve it along the way. Next video is going to be about solving this and also with the model expression.